We're on our way to the mechanic. Doesn't sound like he has good news.
Yeah, whatever.
Cool. So you're Steve.
Yeah, I'm Steve.
We've met before.
Yes.
All right, cool.
Diesel mechanic,
Right, you-
Lebanon, Ohio. Mac, Volvo. I'm Cummins certified.
Cool.
Been working on diesels for about 15 years. Second generation mechanic. My dad was a Vietnam vet mechanic. But anyway, this is a 5.9 Cummins, 12 valve.
Right.
High pressure fuel system, 95 model. And overall condition is pretty good with 200,000 miles on it.
Right. A bit more than that.
Yep. You have a common problem here, exhaust manifold bolts break. This bolt is actually missing and gone. It's broke off in the head.
Okay.
It doesn't have...
So it'd have to be tapped?
Yes, it'll have to be drilled and tapped and threaded. The leak, though, it's not leaking excessively yet because it hasn't blown out the gasket. So the gasket is still partially sealed. And up here on cylinder 1, same thing on top here. The bolt's completely gone. You can see right here it's broke off in the head.
Yeah.
But it doesn't have an excessive exhaust leak.
Well, this would be easier to drill and tap too.
Yeah, on top.
That's a lot easier on top. Yeah.
The bottom doesn't go through the back.
Right. Oh, right. Yeah.
Bottom.
That's
so
the
bottom
right
holes go directly into the head.
Okay, that's not fun.
Yeah, the top ones do go all the way through, and if you get in a pinch with the top bolts, I've seen guys drill them out and actually be able to put nuts on the back of them.
Okay.
If they can't.
Right.
If
Can't
they can't tap it and heel it pull it. So that's a good thing. The alternator's not charging, it's bad.
No.
But that's just due to age. Everything else in here actually looks really good. There's no major oil leaks here. The fuel pump looks good. Another thing that we need to address is the throttle linkage.
Okay.
So over here, you can see that they have it set up for the throttle linkage on these buses to only open up about halfway with the pedal.
Right.
And that's so that way people don't hot rod around with a bunch of kids in it.
Right.
But we'll go ahead and open that up to full throttle.
Okay.
They said something about you had a running light on the back flickering.
Yes.
Is that right? Like what, when you're down the road?
Was it brake light?
Is it brake light? Is it just when you're going down the road?
Just when you smack it.
When we check our lights and it's off, if we walk back to it and hit it, it'll turn on and we don't notice that it's off again
Got it. So it's a back connection. Okay.
Yeah,
I got that part back there. I was looking at it. I wanted to verify that. I want to go ahead and fix your alternator.
Right, yeah, that needs to be done. I mean, the solar panel's working, but it's not gonna keep us going.
It's always good when you're gonna go into the mountains or any kind of place like that you have a backup plan if things go wrong. You don't want to get caught out there in the cold and freeze to death or get stuck.
Exactly.
I love this bus, by the way.
Thank you.
Thanks.
And another thing is
We do too, really.
Okay, so that's all of those things, and it's pretty much everything we talked about in that parts and labor cost that we talked about earlier?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Okay.
So that'll be fixing the oil leak.
I didn't know his face when we got here. I wasn't able to tell.
Right?
That on video. I'm like,
So what size is that?
This is 14 millimeter and 9/16.
Okay.
It's because it's an older bus. The newer ones are normally 7/16
Right.
to adjust. Go ahead and get that free. Okay, so let me get a light.
Is that another booster?
So you know the terminologies and what you're looking at here. I'm going to teach you.
yes, I would love to know how to look up stuff on the internet.
This is a brake chamber.
Okay, chamber.
Okay, this is actually what pushes the cam to apply your brakes. Okay, these are your brake shoes.
Okay.
You see that line right there in the middle, kind of in the middle of that pad?
I do, yeah.
Right here. Yep, that line.
Yeah.
That's the wear line. You get below that, you're illegal.
Right.
That's legal tolerance on the brakes.
Okay.
This is your drum, the big piece that goes around it. And then inside of here is your S-cam shaft. So this is called a slack adjuster. As it pushes this back, it spreads the brakes apart and stops the vehicle. That's how it works. Okay?
Right.
And it's all operated with air, and these are your air lines. One air line is for your parking brake. That's what the button, when you push the button, the air comes in, releases the slack adjuster, pulls it back.
Okay.
When you park it, you pull that valve out, the air dumps, the air leaves here. There's a spring in the back of this can, and that heavy spring pushes this rod back, and that's what sets the brake.
Okay.
So if you lose air pressure, as soon as the air pressure gets lost, these brakes automatically kick in.
Right.
Okay.
I've heard that.
The other line is your foot pedal.
Okay.
That's the air that overcomes the air that's released the brake to apply the brake.
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
This one's pretty far out of adjustment, and I'll show you here. So you got to get it in and then push it in. Did you see how that went in?
Yeah.
You see that?
I do, yeah.
So this
There's
is
a
the
little
locking
gasket.
tab. It's a lock.
Okay.
So it's spring loaded.
Okay, I see.
You have to push it in like that to turn it, because it won't turn like that.
Okay.
So you actually have to push it in and then tighten it. All the way until it stops and it's tight.
Okay.
Then you want to back it off 3/8 to a half of a turn. So this is a quarter. From there to there is a quarter. Quarter,
Okay.
1/4, 3/8. That's it, and the brake is adjusted.
Okay.
Okay?
That's simple.
That's simple. And you want to do it on all four wheels.
How often should we be checking this?
I would check it maybe, before you go on a long trip,
Right.
and then it should be good, and then check it again when you get to Colorado, unless you feel the brakes kind of fading.
Okay. That's something I suppose we never had any experience otherwise.
No.
So, but to this point, I've not noticed any lack in braking. It brakes.
Okay, so this brake, do you see the gap? You
Yes, I see that gap.
See the
Yeah.
huge gap in here?
Uh huh.
That's completely out of adjustment. Okay?
Right. And that one's
See how much tighter it is?
right. Yeah. You maybe
So-
get a $1 bill in there.
What it is this is called an automatic slack adjuster. It's supposed to automatically keep the brakes adjusted tight.
Uh huh.
As they get older, they stop working. So you have to manually adjust them to keep them tight. This one's
And that's like backing up a little bit and hitting your brakes for your star wheel on a old drum brake kind of deal, like a.
These
Like-
they
Obviously, you don't back up to adjust
yeah,
them.
you don't
but,
you don't do that.
but it's the kind of the same
supposed to.
concept?
Same concept. Yeah.
Okay.
And this one's stuck. So
Okay.
I need a hammer to knock this in so we can adjust it.
So
I
you
might
can
even wanna
adjust
get some
it.
blaster because it's
Okay.
stuck, and that makes sense on why it's not adjusting.
Okay.
Another thing is, see up here, there's grease zerks.
Okay.
See
Yeah.
this grease zert? It's
Right.
kind of hard to get to because it's in a bad spot. So
Sure.
because
I've got a
it's-
little grease gun.
because it's in a bad spot, it doesn't get greased.
Okay.
If that makes sense.
Yeah,
but
that-
that's what I was going to do for you too, is grease this vehicle because it has not been greased, I can tell. So there's a grease zert here, and there's another one right here, and
Okay.
this is for the bushings, and there's bushings inside that rod for the S-cam, and you want to grease those. I would say every couple thousand miles.
Okay.
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 And then we can move to the front, and I'll show you to grease there. While you're back here, I also want you to grease the drive shaft, and I also want you to check right here on the back of the pig.
Right.
This is the differential.
Right.
I'm gonna get this plug out. This right here is your fill plug, okay? And this is also your level. So when you pull this plug out, it should be full. It should be running out. If the grease is not running out, it's not full, and you need to add until it does run out.
Right.
Okay?
And then you plug it back up?
Yep, and then you plug it back up, and that's 80-90 weight regular. I don't believe you need to run synthetic in the bus.
Okay.
But that's gonna be huge because you have a little bit of a leak, not too bad, but you have a little bit of a leak right here on the pinion. It's not,
I noticed
horrible, but you have a little bit. And then you also want to grease all these U-joints right here. Every U-joint has a grease cert on a bus or a Class 8 vehicle.
Okay.
And you want to grease these every couple thousand miles. So you want a big grease gun with a tube of grease. And,
sure.
You know, you can take a good hour going through here inspecting. And you want to shoot grease until it comes out of all 4 caps if possible.
Okay, yeah.
So if you don't know how much grease to put in, keep greasing
just keep doing it, right?
Coming out.
Yeah.
All it's going to do is throw the residue
right,
around.
yeah. It's just going to make a mess, right?
Yep. So then I'll move to the front. On the front, this is your spring. This is your leaf spring in the front. These are called leaf spring bushings.
Right.
They all have grease certs right here. You want to go ahead and make sure you shoot those 2 with grease, because these get dry and they easily wear out, and you'll tell when they go bad because when you turn the steering wheel, you'll hear a popping noise in the front end.
Okay.
That's what happens when spring pins go bad.
And that's basically just what keeps your wheels center left to right. Okay.
Yes. This and it moves in and out as you go over bumps.
If we keep
This
it
is your
greased,
spring.
it shouldn't have that issue that causes the
Yeah,
knocking.
if you keep it greased,
Which
it's
is the
gonna-
problem with that camper.
Yeah, which is Taylor's issue.
Yeah. You keep it greased, it's gonna last a long time. Okay. This mud flap is loose. It's probably about to break off.
Oh, I see that, yeah.
See it up in there?
Uh-huh.
You need to stick a bolt or
Oh,
something
yeah.
in it.
Yeah, we'll take care
Yeah,
of
it's
that.
coming off.
Yeah.
Is
And
there
then-
is there a bunch of rust up under here? Because I don't know what the bottom of a bus is supposed to look like.
So the rust that they were talking about was back there where he filled the holes. See that? That was the rust they were talking about, and it's on the cross members. Not necessarily the frame, not necessarily the structure, but just the floor of the bus itself. So actually, your structure is in great shape. And all
Well,
your-
it looks like they sprayed it with something, I think.
Okay, good. I like
When I was cutting the rust out, there was
all this shit that they
awful
sprayed it with,
smell.
I
Yeah,
think. Yeah, that's undercoating.
yeah, it wasn't.
But they didn't spray it back there because it got all rusty.
Oh, they didn't, did they?
Nope. See it up here?
I
It's
haven't
good.
properly been under here.
And then back there it's not.
Yeah,
This is your tie rod tube here. This is your tie rod ends.
it's leaking a little bit.
That's from the oil
Okay.
blowing back. So
All right,
this
that
is
makes
the
sense.
engine oil leak that's
Okay.
been blowing back. These are kingpins right here. If you ever heard someone say your kingpins,
Uh-huh.
these are kingpins right here. And this is your solid I-beam axle. You're gonna have a grease cert on the bottom of the kingpin, and you're gonna have a grease cert on the top of the kingpin, along with your grease certs for your slack adjuster and your S-cam. You want to make sure all those get greased. The proper way to grease kingpins is to jack up the frame of the bus, get this tire off the ground.
Uh-huh.
That takes the pressure off this pin.
Right.
So when you shoot the grease in it, the grease can go all the way around the pin.
Okay, yeah.
With the pressure on the pin, you shoot the grease in it, and it only
Yeah.
greases one side of the pin, and the pin that's wearing doesn't necessarily get the grease.
And is this every couple thousand mile check again?
Yes.
Now how?
And you
how
want to
would
shoot the grease until it comes out here. See
Okay,
it
yeah,
here?
all the way
And
clear up
down
there.
here at the bottom. You're going to shoot it till you start to hear it come out. Sometimes you'll even see water come out of that.
Okay.
Because the water gets in there and sits. So without the grease, it can rust up. First of all, it would be the worst case scenario is rusting up. The best case scenario without the grease, the pin goes bad and then starts wearing out your tires. Very
Okay.
bad. But these are newer Michelins on the front end. They look like they're in pretty good shape. Your front brake pads, shoes, they're in good shape.
They look a little better in the backs.
Do you know about how
Yeah.
many miles of brakes on a bus like this goes?
Um,
We've got. Because I know about cars.
I know buses brakes last a really long time, and I'll tell you why.
Sir, super hard.
Super hard.
Okay.
So, to keep kids safe, they put twice the braking power of shoe
That they need.
in drums that they need.
Okay.
That's why you always hear a school bus squeaking,
This one doesn't squeal. That's probably because we got the one wheel.
right? Because you only have one wheel.
Because everybody's been
Okay,
asking
so
us. Because we.
will squeak, and
They
that's
might
good,
after I, yeah,
Right.
might after
and that's
I
not
dust
a
them
bad
all.
thing like in
No.
a car. Okay.
No.
Well, it's
So-
not necessarily a bad thing in a car,
Okay. That makes
unless
I mean, just-
you're down to your wear bar.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
So just think about it. Like, how many times have you seen a school bus go by and it's like,
Yeah.
Right.
Oh my
you're like,
gosh.
oh,
so
that's a
many
school
times.
bus, right?
Right,
So
exactly.
that's why.
Okay.
And it's all safety concern issues.
All right.
So they get the best, highest grade, like 25,000 pound brake shoes.
Right.
So it'd be 25,000 pounds per wheel.
That's
but there's
wild.
only about 10 or 15,000 pounds on each wheel.
Total. Okay. On each wheel. Okay.
Okay.
So it's like two pieces of metal going against each other.
Okay.
If
Right.
that makes sense, and that's why
Yes.
they
We had to pull the brake up with our foot or our hand. The brake actually sticks down. We have to pull it up.
that's called a foot valve.
It doesn't
Okay. So
return.
that's
And that needs lube.
okay.
Okay.
You need to take PB Blaster. Don't forget this. Keep a can of that with you.
Yeah.
And squirt that foot valve underneath of it.
Uh-huh.
You'll see where the pin goes through on it.
Right.
On the pedal. You can pull it back.
Yeah.
You pull the pedal back and you can see it.
Uh-huh.
You want to squirt that and the button. There's a button that the pedal pushes on.
For your brake lights.
For this is air brake.
Oh, okay.
This is actually how the air gets through the
Okay.
brakes. Okay. It's called a foot valve. It's an actual valve. It's not a switch.
Okay.
Okay. Anyway, that button, you want to spray that button, and you want to spray the pin, and then you want to work it
Okay.
like 200 times,
Okay. Just like
and then
over and
spray
over.
it, and then keep working it until it's just
Until it
really
returns.
loose.
Okay.
Okay. And there's not too like there's no overdoing it, just hitting it like hitting the brake over and over again, just until
She's
it's
always
good.
worried about overdoing it.
Yeah,
That's
when
like
you
her
told me
main
that fixing
concern.
a car uses a hammer to hit things a lot, I was like, that doesn't make any sense.
Not a lot.
But I've learned a lot. Like I know how to do, like he taught me how to do my own brakes, and I've learned a couple of things. And hammers come in handy, so I'm learning that.
Absolutely.
I'd like to
Oh, yeah.
ask
BF
if there's a
BF
can you
for H.
overdo it, because if I hit it so many times, but if I hit it too many times, that's bad. I want to know.
Yeah.
So
The
Use that
foot
for
valve,
whatever.
the foot valve is one component of all air brake vehicles that seizes if they don't get used.
Okay.
So if they sit for a period of time, they seize up.
And
It's
that's
sat for
why-
a year.
And that's why we've got that
Yeah.
issue.
Except for 2
I've
years,
even
actually.
seen trucks, like semis, seize up on a foot valve just from dirt getting in the valve
Okay.
Right.
and getting crusty and
Because
seize
of the
up that
bottom
way.
of your foot. Okay, that makes sense.
Yep.
That makes sense.
So that's something to be mindful of, to try to keep clean and keep lubed
Okay.
so it works easy. I mean, that is a safety concern.
Okay.
Absolutely.
You
Right.
definitely want your brakes to work.
Okay.
But worst comes to worst, emergency. If you need an emergency stop and the foot pedal doesn't work, just pull that valve on the dash.
Okay.
That's the emergency valve.
Okay.
The right.
Okay.
Yep, the brake release valve.
Right.
The one that you push in to move.
Yeah.
If
Right.
And
your
that
foot
will
pedals-
actually stop us.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Your brakes will automatically kick in, but hold on before you pull it
Right.
Okay.
because it's going to be like slamming on the brakes.
Okay. Okay.
Right.
Okay.
Okay.
Which we haven't properly experienced yet.
Yeah, but all your stuff might.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
That's emergency only. That's for your emergency.
The tie downs.
We
are
don't have tie
$1,000.
downs.
That's part
Okay.
of it. We
Yep.
talked
All
about
right.
That's
that.
part of it. I'm gonna go get some tie downs. It's made for the tie downs to go in these holes
Right.
and tie down across each battery. I'll go ahead and go get those and get that done for you guys.
Cool.
Back under there, the inside tire on this side, the inside of it looked like maybe it was dry rotted.
It is.
Okay, so does
Yeah.
that
Good
need to
eye.
be
I
replaced?
noticed that as
Absolutely.
well. Yeah.
Okay.
I personally, I'll tell you what.
So that's a risk of a blowout?
Yes.
Okay.
Right.
It is a risk of a blowout.
Are the
but-
other ones good?
Yeah.
Okay.
They are.
And I've noticed they said they can be retreaded. Is that
They can. So this is the deal. They can only retread tires that are, I believe, like 7 years old. So if it's 7 years old or newer, they can retread it.
Okay.
And then the tire gets a stamp every time it gets retreaded.
Yeah.
and I think they can only retread them about 3 or 4 times.
Right.
Okay.
Is that what that stamp is there?
Yeah, I think so.
2009. Oh,
Yeah,
that's
this is not a retread though.
Is that dry rot too?
Yeah, a little bit. A little bit.
So that's
were
where our
concerned
sun
about that.
damage.
Yeah, a little bit, but it's not too bad. I'll tell you what. Personally, what I would do, I'd drive it till it blows.
Really?
Yes.
You would get
On
it to
this-
blow.
Unless
If
it's a
one of-
steer.
Okay.
If it's a steer tire, you're fine. If one of these blow, you're fine because you have another one right next to it.
Okay.
It's a steer tire, you're not fine.
Yeah, with a steer tire, you're not fine.
Right.
You're stuck.
And you
Back
yeah.
here, one of these can blow out, and normally you can slowly make it to wherever you
Okay,
need to go.
good.
No miles on it, hardly.
Okay. So then in terms of driving until it blows out, if you do have
Not
a
the
blow-
steer.
Right. Go
Yeah.
back.
Yeah.
If you do drive until that blows out, you're gonna have to get going to a place to fix it. You're gonna be able to drive it there.
drive. That's why you have 2 tires.
Okay. Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. So do
One
we?
of those blow.
When it blows out, do we pull over and then assess everything, see if anything needs to be moved out of the way,
Yep.
and then we just keep driving?
Yep.
Okay.
If you have a sharp knife and there's something that needs cut,
So we need a
Cut
sharp
it out
knife
of the
for our
way.
tire blowout.
Well, that's what we'll bring the kukri along for.
yeah. But not necessarily. I mean, I've seen trucks drive 50 to 100 miles on a tire that's blown out.
Right,
Okay.
right.
And now,
The worst it can do is take out the mud flap.
see now both
Speed
of
things up a little
those.
bit.
So the inside of the inside one has dry rot, and the outside one has dry rot. What if they both blew? Is that just super uncommon?
Very uncommon.
Okay.
It would just be a bad day.
I have crazy things that go through my head when these scenarios start popping up.
We're
So I just,
we are ignorant. So
I'm still slightly
we don't
afraid to
don't
drive my
we don't
house,
have the
so
knowledge
I'd
that
like to know,
you know.
yeah, as
So
much, and I
asking
like that
questions
we've got
is great.
this on video. Save
Right.
this
That's
one.
what, exactly. That's what this
So
is
that-
for.